And as Swati continues reporting live from the Vijay and I'll hand it over to my colleague because the situation in West Asia is set to echo in Parliament today. External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar will address the House on the escalating conflict in the region. This is a statement that's going to come in the second phase of the budget session that's set to begin in a few hours. And tensions have spiked after US's and Israel's joint strikes on Iran on the 28th. Swati, this is going to be the big issue that's going to dominate the Parliament today. And it's over to you. Take us through what the voices that you're tracking from Parliament as war becomes the focal point.
Absolutely. Like you said, the External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar is going to address the House on the conflict in West Asia, which is only growing and also spreading now beyond Middle East. The opposition, remember, has been asking what is Government of India's stand, what is Government of India's approach to the entire issue, and most importantly, in the coming days, because we know that the energy crisis will deepen, what is going to be our strategy in combating that. So today, when the External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar speaks about the crisis that could reshape West Asia in the coming days amid the war, the US-Israel-Iran conflict, the opposition is going to expect some answers to the questions that they have been raising outside the Parliament as well. There are a lot of issues that are going to dominate and most importantly, remember, the opposition and the entire country wants to know what is India's approach when it comes to the conflict in Middle East, especially after the killing of Ali Khomeini. And now that a new supreme leader has been elected by the assembly, even more important to understand what India's strategy is going to be. So the focus remains on that. The opposition wants to know what the government is planning to do. Let's also try and go across to the guests who are joining us on the broadcast. At the moment, we have Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist. Shekhar Iyer, in the Parliament, we are expecting the External Affairs Minister to make a statement. There are a lot of questions that the opposition has been asking ever since the conflict began in terms of India's strategy, our foreign policy and our approach to this.
Definitely, Swati, opposition has a number of questions. But I doubt whether the government can straight away answer those questions, given the evolving nature of the conflict and also the way things are progressing there. Of course, the opposition, you can straight away say now will reject whatever foreign minister says on the floor of the House, because they will say that these are the things we already knew. But definitely, I think they will also bring in the issue of the rise in the price of cylinders, LPG cylinder, just 2 days ago. So there are a number of issues which the opposition will use this session, particularly on the developments in West Asia, to corner the government.
Right.
And I think the other thing the opposition is looking at is to, rather put the government on the dock for its, what they call silence on the issue of...
Shekhar Iyer, please stay on with us. Before I introduce our other guests and go across to them, we have Lair Singh Siroya, BJP MP Rajya Sabha, joining us here on the broadcast from Vijay Chowk. Thank you very much for giving us your time. If you could just take the mic, sir. We're given to understand that the External Affairs Minister is going to make a statement in the House. There are a lot of reactions already coming in from the opposition. The opposition says we want to have a discussion on the energy crisis, which will deepen and worsen. And you've already faced a lot of criticism in terms of the opposition asking questions on what is our stand going to be as we are witnessing the West Asia.
देखिए जो भी होगा, आज जयशंकर जी हमारे आदरणीय विदेश मंत्री सदन में, दोनों सदनों में इस बात को रखेंगे। और जहां तक ऑपोजिशन का सवाल है, ऑपोजिशन बिल्कुल लड़कपन पर उतर आया है। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी या रक्षा मंत्री कोई भी अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी सार्वजनिक चर्चा कैसे कर सकते हैं, पब्लिकली जो सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं उनका क्या महत्व है। ये बड़ा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि प्रतिपक्ष के नेता इस तरह का बिहेवियर कर रहे हैं और उलझुल बातें और प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं। मैं समझता हूं सरकार पर और आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री पर हमारे देश को विश्वास कर रहा है और करता रहेगा और समुचित समय पर इन बातों का जवाब दिया जाएगा।
एक कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन का भी है जो स्पीकर के खिलाफ ऑपोजिशन ने उठाया है और ऑपोजिशन स्पीकर को निकालना चाहता है। दे बॉट इन अ मोशन फॉर रिमूवल ऑफ द स्पीकर। उनका ये कहना है कि स्पीकर ने उन्हें बोलने नहीं दिया, ऑपोजिशन के लोगों को, खासतौर पर राहुल गांधी को अपनी बात नहीं रखने दी।
देखिए, ऐसा है कि ये जितनी भी संवैधानिक संस्था और पद हैं, उन पर सिस्टमेटिकली ढंग से उनको डाइल्यूट करने के लिए कांग्रेस हमेशा प्रयत्न करती रही है। जब सरकार में थी तब भी और अब भी। उन्होंने जैसे आदरणीय हमारे जो चेयरमैन थे राज्यसभा के, धनखड़ जी को कितना लज्जित किया, कितना उनको उन पर आरोप लगाए, कितना ह्यूमिलेशन किया, और जब उन्होंने पद छोड़ दिया तो उसके बाद में उनके पक्ष में खड़े हो गए, तरह तरह की बातें और करने लगे। इसी तरह से ये आदरणीय बिरला जी के जो लोकसभा का स्पीकर इंस्टीट्यूशन है, जिसको कितना ये संवैधानिक और कितना हमारे लिए सम्मान का विषय है, उसको पर भी ये इस तरह से डाइल्यूट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। ये कांग्रेस का चरित्र है। और जब उन्होंने सत्ता में थे इतने 70 वर्षों से, तब किस किस पद का उन्होंने अपमान किया, इंक्लूडिंग सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, जिस तरह से उन्होंने किया था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसलों को बदला गया, और जिस तरह से वहां पे पहले आउट ऑफ द टर्न प्रमोशन करके क्या क्या नहीं किया गया, अब सबको मालूम है। तो अब ये जो संवैधानिक पदों की दुहाई देते हैं, ये बड़ा शर्मनाक है कि आज ओम बिरला जी के प्रति, हमारे आदरणीय लोकसभा स्पीकर के प्रति जो लाया जा रहा है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। लेकिन देश देख रहा है, समझ रहा है, और दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी आने वाले दिनों में साफ हो जाएगा।
ये दिखा दिया है, उनके तेवर बिल्कुल साफ हैं कि वो जो सवाल उठा रहे हैं उनको उन्हीं सवालों का जवाब चाहिए। आपको लगता है कि फ्लोर मैनेजमेंट गवर्नमेंट का सही है, उस हिसाब से है कि कोई काम हो पाएगा, या फिर हम हंगामा ही देखेंगे?
देखिए, विपक्ष के क्या तेवर हैं, ये लड़कपन की तरह जो आते हैं जाते हैं और सदन को चलने नहीं देते हैं, और फिर आरोप लगाता है कि सदन में हम जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं, बात नहीं कर रहे हैं। और इन्होंने सारे संवैधानिक संस्थाओं को तो खत्म किया ही है। उन्होंने प्रतिपक्ष के नेता जो संवैधानिक पद है उसको इतना डाइल्यूट कर दिया है, उसको सड़क छाप बना दिया गया है। ये शर्म की बात है, और देश देख रहा है, और इन्हीं कारणों से उनका वोट बैंक दिन दिन कम होता जा रहा है। और आगे आने वाले दिनों में मैं समझता हूँ राज्यसभा में भी इनका प्रतिपक्ष का नेता नहीं रहेगा, और आने वाले चुनाव में लोकसभा में भी नहीं रहेगा।
एक आखिरी सवाल इससे पहले कि मैं आपको जाने दूं, ऑपोजिशन आज फिर इस बात को उठाएगा कि उनको बोलने नहीं दिया जाता है, राहुल गांधी की आवाज दबाई जाती है।
पूरा देश देख रहा है कि किसी चर्चा के लिए वो तैयार नहीं है। जब चर्चा होती तो बायकाट करके चले जाते हैं और सदन को चलने नहीं देते। ये मैं कहना तो नहीं चाहिए ऐसे शब्द, लेकिन मैं कहता हूं उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे जैसी बात हो रही है। मुझे दुख है कि मुझे इस तरह के शब्दों का उपयोग करना पड़ रहा है।
ऑल राइट सिरोया जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमसे बात करने के लिए। दैट वाज बीजेपी एमपी राज्यसभा Leher Singh Siroya joining us here in Vijay Chowk. We have other guests lined up as well. Along with Shekhar Iyer, we have Tushar Gupta, Nikhil Jain and Vivek Silas on the broadcast. Let me go across to Tushar Gupta. Tushar, a lot of issues that may lead to a stormy session and showdown. One, of course, is the no confidence motion in the Lok Sabha speaker brought in by the opposition. And the other one, because of which there could be hangama in the House, is the situation in Middle East.
Look, Swati, the hangama that was happening last time when the parliament was functioning was about a book. Since the last 1 month, Rahul Gandhi hasn't spoken about that book, and he wasn't quoting from the book. He was quoting from an article selectively that itself was selectively quoting from a book. Point number one. Point number two, what we are looking at in Western Asia is a global crisis. Oil has just breached $115 mark, and it's a problem for America as much as it is for India. The Strait of Hormuz for 5th day straight is seeing zero traffic. Right now, I was just tracking it, and all you have is an Indian vessel with LPG stranded near the Iranian port, and all the ports, all the vessels are stuck, not because of any geopolitical leadership, but because of the insurance cost going up. Now, this is only the 8th or the 9th day of the war. We don't know how the week will progress. If Trump's statements are any indicator, he's preparing for a long haul. The Israelis are preparing for a long haul, but the global economy cannot take that stress. And people rather confused that because it's a Strait of Hormuz, so only the Asian stakeholders are in a problem. Only India or China, say other Southeast Asian nations have a problem. No. Oil hitting the $110 mark is a problem for the Americans. It's a problem for the Europeans, for the Indians, for the Chinese. So at this point, I think what the major contentious point would be, where does India stand in the West Asian war? And as far as things goes, we are a spectator. Our primary interest is only energy security, the supply chain on the energy front being secured.
And Nikhil Jain, there are assurances that have come in from the government sources telling us that we are comfortably placed at the moment. So there's no need for anybody to panic as of yet. But will there be any sane discussion happening in the parliament, or will, once again, we'll see chaos. Chaos broke out.
Swati, I don't know. It's for the government to decide whether they're going to let the House run this time around, or like every other previous session that we've seen in the past several years, they're going to disrupt the parliament again. The government is going to disrupt the parliament again. The speaker is going to not let the leader of opposition speak, and they will, evade and absolve themselves of all accountability. Tushar has raised a very important point of the conflict with Iran, Israel and America affecting the global crude oil supplies. And it's not just crude oil supplies, the entire international trade has taken a hit, and India's silence on the issue is damning. There is no word by the President of India, who can, make political statements in West Bengal yesterday, but she cannot speak about the Americans downing an Iranian ship that was our guest in our backyard, the Indian Ocean, which we proudly claim is what guarded by the Indian Navy. Now, these are important questions, but the government has no answers on all of this. Now, when the opposition says that why did you stop buying oil from Russia, you get, fallacious answers from the government saying that, oh, we never stopped, despite the fact that in the past 1 or 2 months, there have been no major orders of Russian oil. The same Russia which was willing to give us deeply discounted oil and was giving it until a few months ago is now...
So you're saying the House will function depending on whether the government allows that or not. Of course, the government says that it's the opposition which is not cooperating and willing to allow the House to function. I believe we have some breaking inputs coming in on the broadcast. A lot of reactions from the opposition. Let's go across to Sagarika for that.
Swati, one of the main points made by the opposition is that just a statement by the External